I always forget to turn off the thingy. Hello. We got the Halloween vibes. Let me put on some music. I feel like the music might be a bit too cute. Alright. どうかな? Get the spooky vibes going. Oops. I can also actually do like this style, or this style, or this style. すごくない? Okay. And today, even though I put up the tweet requesting for stories like very late at night, I got a lot of stories. Like たくさんね、待って、翻訳機能つけるの忘れた。Boom. I got a lot of like spooky stories from people. So, yeah. Hello. Okay. You know what's another cool thing I could do? I can actually do an outline. なんか MV っぽくなってないこれ。Then becomes like a MV style. Like an MV style. Hello. Let's make it like that. Hi. Well then, shall we get right into the stories? Evil 38 months went by. There's a perfect stream to fall asleep to. Okay, I'm gonna put down the volume lower. Actually, I'm gonna change the BGM. 1 second. Gonna change the BGM. Cause I think there's a more spooky type BGM that I could use. That would probably sound better. I mean, more. Nope. どこだろう? Ah, let's do this one. こっちの方がぽい. But this part's a little bit more. Let's do this. Kowinski, thank you for the 38 months. William Hercule, thank you very much. My homemade outfit. My homemade Halloween costume. Okay. Potato Cat, thank you for the super. Like cat. Okay, let me just go down. I actually got like a bunch of marshmallows that I did not see because I didn't check my marshmallows as often. So I'm like, see my thing? Okay, let me do this. Put this out. Let's go down to the first one. Happy Halloween! Trick or treat? We're gonna just download these ones. Save image. I actually went through a little bit of it before the stream, but I ended up like just being like, oh, I'm just gonna download during the stream so that I don't get confused which ones I've gone through. Alright. Are we ready? 声よりも BGM が大きい？本当？本当？ Is my voice bigger than the BGM? A bit? Okay. Wait, hold on. Is the BGM bigger than my voice? It's good. Okay. I think instead of like actually downloading, maybe I should just read it instead of like downloading it and put it on the screen, because the marshmallows don't quite fit the vibe. Alright, are we ready? First one. My family had experienced an exorcism. Someone was sending my family dark magic to my dad and my house. When the exorcism happened, it spoke in ancient Latin, and I was so scared, but thankfully the priest succeeded. My family is now safe. It is said that it was sent to ruin my family because the owner of it was deeply jealous. Wow. Wait, so that means the owner of the house was jealous? OMG. Hoodie is good. Okay, that's good. And next, while on my parents' computer, I heard knocking at the window behind me. Oh, wait, I think I can. When at my parents' computer, I heard knocking at the window behind me. At first, I tried to ignore it, but it kept happening. 3 taps. Silence. 3 taps. Silence. It spooked me, so I snuck into my room. The next day, I went outside to investigate. There was snow on the ground, and in the snow, there were footprints where the window was. I followed the footprints, and they led to the fence where the person had hopped over. 本当にありそうなことものって怖っ。It's like a you hear tapping. That means someone was actually outside your window. See, my question would be, is it like on the first floor or the second floor? Because if it was the second floor, it would be even more scary. Also, why are they tapping 3 times in silence and tapping 3 times? But maybe it's time to invest in a taller fence. I don't know. Even scarier because it's like possible to have actually happen. Why would they tap it 3 times and then stop? Okay. The tapping is from an owl, but then how would you explain the footsteps, like the footprints? Where the... up to the fence. Alright, continue. When my siblings and I were kids, our parents bought us these toy walkie-talkies, and we didn't use it as much because both my siblings, older, were going through puberty, and the I'm not a kid stage. Then one night I was sleeping in my parents' room where the walkie-talkies were located, and then one of the walkie-talkies received signal, even though both of them were left untouched while one of them was creating sound. I was alone in the room when my parents were checking on my siblings, and when they came back, I asked them if any of my siblings had one. But absolutely no one had it. It's like it picked up some sort of other radio. Picked up another radio signal and was just making noises. What's it called? Apparently, this next one is no ghosts, but actually scary. I feel like the ones that don't involve ghosts are more scary. Radio signals are weird sometimes. It is, yeah. Okay, ready? Maybe I'll add a little bit of reverb just to match the vibes a little bit more. Alright, ready? When I was a med student, I have to go ward at ward in the midnight. The medical school is quite big, but the buildings there are really old. All OPD are already closed, so the hospital is really quiet. When I went back to my dorm, I waited for the elevator. No one uses it at that time. When the door opened, something strange. The elevator door is not adjoined to the ward floor, but I was too tired to walk down the stairs from the 7th floor through the dark, closed OPD. So I go in the elevator anyway. The elevator was going down, and stopped, then started to go up by itself. When it stopped, it opened to the dark half floor. Lower half of the lift was a ceiling of one floor. The upper half was the floor of another. This floor is closed, so it's impossible that someone called for this lift. Some time has passed, and the elevator started to work again. Later, I still had to go back to that building anyway, but it seems like that lift was working normally. I mean, you said no ghosts? But I feel like it feels like there is ghosts. You know what I mean? It feels like there is ghosts. You said no ghosts, but it sounds like there is. Ikoi ne. Ikoi, yay. Ooh, koi. When in doubt, ghost. Well, the fact that it like went up and like stopped at like a halfway. Ooh. Ooh. Spooky. Love the way you talk, thank you. I'm trying to like read these stories in like a spooky way just to fit the vibes, but I'm also, cause I'm scared myself, so I'm like afterwards trying to add other things that makes it less scary. In horror story, when they say no ghosts means there's 100% ghosts. Evie. Okay. Okay, you know what? Okay. Yeah, I'm not good with horror, but it's alright. We're continuing on. Next one. I need to preface this and say this is not the first time this happened to me. It's not the first time? So, because of some things, there was a point in high school where I lived almost alone in our house. Fortunately though, my grandparents just lived across the street, so I wasn't really alone per se. However, one day I bumped into my aunt in my grandparents' house, and she looked at me twice, then glanced to our house, and asked how did I get there. Apparently she just came from our house and saw me through the window sleeping. There's a bed near a window, and she took a couple of minutes calling me out to wake me up, but to no success. She really described the me she saw, like we were wearing the same clothes, the same hair. She might not have seen their face, but to her it was clearly me, especially since I lived alone. However, I was literally at my grandparents' home the whole time she saw me sleeping. Our house was also locked, and I had the key, so it couldn't be anyone else. Doppelganger! Oh my goodness. You reckon it's a doppelganger? Like sleeping in the place? I know, that's so scary. Or maybe... yeah, wait. Do you think the aunt was remembering things incorrectly? That's scary. I know. Koi. It's scary. Okay, long lost twin. But how would they end up in the house? How would they end up in the house with the same clothes? Okay. Continuing on. Happy Halloween, Mariring. This story was from last year, and I still remember it until now. To give you a bit of context, my room has a window that faces a small storage shed inside our garage area. The shed's door has small gaps in it, so we can still see what's inside somehow from outside, and it was always locked. One night, exactly at 3 a.m., I woke up to the sound of knocking on my window. The knocking went on, and that someone was knocking while calling my name over and over for almost a full minute. I was so scared and didn't know what to do. So I just waited until the knocking was gone. After it was gone, I quietly walked out of my room and went to wake my mom. I told her everything in a whisper, still thinking someone might be out there. My mom ends up calling our closest neighbor to check outside near the shed to see if anyone was there. And of course, when they looked, there was no one. Until now, I still don't know who or what that someone was. That's all. Spooky! Well, calling and calling the name would be scary, right? It's very scary, right? But if I were to change, if I were to make it not scary, maybe the reason why they saw no one when they looked is because they already left after knocking and calling for like a minute. They knocked and called for a minute, no response, so they left. And then when the mother like called the closest neighbor to check outside, and there was no one there, it might be because they left already. That's me. This is me trying to de-spookify it. I would rather be a ghost than an actual person. I mean, kinda, cause like an actual person could actually harm you, but like a ghost, I feel like ghosts can like not exorcist you. Like ghosts can haunt you instead and take over, you know. Okay, next one. Happy Halloween. Thank you. So this is written with a translator, since the writer is Japanese. Ikimasu. My chair is so squeaky today. Hold on. When I was a high school student, I faced a spooky occurrence. I was a member of the choir, and one day I went to another music room to get some music sheets with a junior member. The high school I went to was a combined junior and senior high school, so there were 2 music rooms. She and me were looking for sheet music. Suddenly, we heard the sound of a piano behind us. We looked at each other and checked the piano, but there was nothing unusual. There were no one there except us, and no insects either. The windows weren't even open. Eventually, we left there without knowing the cause. And now I don't know. Even now, I don't know what happened. Automatically playing piano. Did someone tamper or did someone or something tamper with your chair? No, I think it's just how I'm sitting on the chair. It's okay. This is fine. Let's go. Oh, this next one is in Japanese, so I will translate it to English after reading it in Japanese first. 先に日本語で読んで、その後に英語に翻訳するね。はい。はじめまして、日本語の文章ですみません。 初めてマシュマロを送らせていただきます。はい、これは私が小学2年生の頃の話です。母の実家のフィリピンにある墓地に家族で行った時のことでした。当時まだ幼かった私は迷路のように入り込んでる墓地を、これ墓地って合ってる？これ墓地で合ってる？墓地あって、オッケー、ありがとうございます。オッケー。迷路のように入り込んでる墓地を見て、遊園地の中にあるアトラクションを走行、ちょっと待って読めない。走行し漢字が早期し、遊園地の中にあるアトラクションを想起し、思わず走り回っていました。親元から離れた場所まで行くと、おそらくタガログ語で怒られる声が聞こえました。その声の主に心当たりがなく、その場にいない人の声で怒鳴られたもので、怖くなって母親の元まで走って戻ってきました。改めて思うのは、知らない国の言語で怒られるのって怖いなという、そんな話でした。日本語しか当時喋れなかった私の恐怖体験でした。This one is just a story about someone who can't speak a language and someone got mad at them in a different language. そうですね、cute. So it says when they were in elementary school, the second year of elementary school, in the mother's hometown in the Philippines. And there was like a cemetery kind of thing. So because they were kind of young at the time, they thought that they were like, wow, this cemetery kind of looks like a maze. And then it was like running around as if it was in an amusement park, right? And then when they got to like a place that was kind of far from their parents, and then they heard someone shouting at them in Tagalog. They didn't recognize the voice, and it sounded like someone who wasn't there at the spot was like yelling at them as well. So they got scared and ran back to the mother. But like looking back at it now, they said they realize how scary it is to be yelled at in a language that you don't understand. And this was their frightening experience since they could only speak Japanese. Makushi taterareru to kowai ne. Kowai ne. Spooky. Okay. Continuing on. Not so original story based out of my dreams. Ayo, I get a bunch of those. As I sat in my room, I heard something crash loudly outside. It sounded nothing else like a glass. It sounded nothing like a glass. I checked the cameras using a phone. It was the TV, shattered yet still glowing, as if something just emerged out of a cartoon show. Before I could react, something unlocked and opened my room door. It was a scrawny, jet-like creature with long arms similar to that of an insect. It looked at me, and its sunken eyes and deformed face said, it said with an almost distorted voice. I quickly backed away in fear, almost like a helpless piece of meat to it. But instead of getting mauled, the creature just hugged me. It turned out no one did watch his show, and he was just lonely and depressed. Nice! I feel like I'll be so scared. That voice? Yeah, it's my Go XLR Gen. My goodness. Mariring is the fear herself. Yeah. Okay. Continuing on. Scared me a bit with that voice. I know. That's the point of the stream, right? Okay. When I was in high school, my family extended my home by building a new one beside my old home. The two houses became one. I was the first one who used one of the rooms there as my bedroom while my mother and sisters sleep in my old house. One day when I was asleep, I was dreaming. In my dream, I was laying down exactly like when I was going to sleep earlier. I was sleeping on my bed facing my bedroom door. It slowly opened and I saw someone standing there. It was a woman. Her hands were like reaching out to me, like they're almost going to drag me. In the beginning, she looks like a young woman, and she slowly turned into an old woman. At the end, she became something like a grudge. I was so scared, but I can't do anything. I can't move nor scream. I just kept praying. Fortunately, it can't enter my room, like there was something blocking it. I just keep praying, and suddenly I woke up with cold sweat all over my body, in the exact same position in my dream, facing my slightly open bedroom door. Kawaii! Kawaii ne? This is why feng shui is a thing. Never sleep with your feet pointed towards the door. Never sleep so that you can see the opening of your door. Feng shui your room so you don't have these kind of dreams and be spooked. Ooh. Ooh. Got a feng shui. Kawaii. Yada na. Kawaii na. When I sleep with my feet to the door, one day you're gonna get dragged out by a random old lady. I was told that superstition when I was young. Yeah. Never sleep with your feet towards the door. Yeah, it's part of the feng shui thingy. I can't remember the exact reasons for it, but like, I think it's inviting death or something. Okay, I can't sleep after this. Ayo. It is Halloween. We have another stream afterwards, so you know it's gonna be Minecraft stream. Apparently, it's gonna be scary, but we'll see how it goes. Okay. 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 I'm like hiding my legs with my hoodie. Is it modern? No. The VSF collab. Feet perpendicular? Wait, which way's perpendicular? Thank you. The little wings I actually made myself. 90 degrees? I guess so. I think so. It's said to be similar how you transport a dead body, feet first. That's why it's unlucky. Unlucky. Feng shui your rooms, guys. If you have these scary dreams, feng shui your rooms. Why is feng shui your rooms like just translated into English? The heck? Okay. Next. Okay. When I was 6, I could see this tall, dark man just standing just a couple steps away from me and wouldn't do anything. However, the reason why I knew it was a man is because its outline and aura. Also, I could tell he was looking at me because you know that feeling you would get when you felt that feeling you would get when someone's looking at you. It was like that. He would follow me everywhere and I could only see him when it was dark. He never got close to me, nor did anything, but his presence just felt nerve-wracking. When I was 15 and was staying at my friend's house, I told her about it, so she asked, well, will I be able to see him at night then if I was with you? I said, honestly, I don't know. So that night we turned off everything she had in her room to make it really dark, and I was going to wake her up when I saw him, so at 2 a.m. he was in the corner. So I then woke up my friend, and he's my friend that, and said, I then woke up my friend. He's in the corner, I said. She pauses, then screams, turned on the light, and was so creeped out. Can't believe she saw him. Also, he's not scary anymore. Well, I guess, like... what's it called? I guess it could be, like, one of those... not like guardian stuff. Like, it's watching over you to, like, protect you or something. I wonder why your friend can see it too, though. Maybe, I mean, it hasn't done anything to harm anyone. So, I guess that's okay, right? That's a silly question. I know, because I'm streaming. I'm a streaming, guys. Of course I'm being watched. By hundreds of people, actually. Okay, spooky. Not feeling scared is interesting. I mean, if they never harmed you or anything, I guess it's fine, right? Oh. Okay, this next one is pretty scary. Scary. Kawaii, kawaii, kamo. Unspook, unspook. Okay, I have a spooky. I'm not even gonna put the effect on because I think I'm gonna get too scared. I have a spooky story. When I was a freshman, I went to a camp where they squeezed 30 of us into one house. At 2 to 3 a.m., I woke up needing to use the bathroom. I was on the second floor. I stepped out and noticed a figure on my left. A girl? She's sitting on the floor staring away from me, at the wall. Her face was covered in shadow. It was odd, but I assumed it was someone I knew in the house. Sleepy brain. So I ignored her and went to the toilet, lol. But when I opened the door, it was very dark inside. So I instinctively stepped back and turned around. Oh, the girl is now staring at me. I froze and stared back. Somehow, I still couldn't see her face. Oh, kawaii. Then she whispered, "Don't go in there. There's something inside." My back was now facing the bathroom and it felt very wrong. I went, "Haha, sorry." and just ran. I don't know why I apologized. My brain was fried. I woke up a senior for help, and when we went back, she was gone. I'm not very religious, but I prayed hard that night. Kawaii ne. Did you know there's a lot of people watching Mariring right now? Even though there's only Mariring in the room alone. Oh my god. Camping trips are always scary at night. It is! And like, anything at night is just more scary, I feel like. In general. Okay. You know, from now on, I'm not gonna put on the effect because I'm getting scared myself. I think I'm just scaring myself. This is fine. Whew. Ikimasu. When I was a kid, I would have to visit my adoptive grandma's house every weekend, and she was a real cranky lady who honestly kind of scared me sometimes. Sometimes she would call me a brat just for doing kid things. I didn't like her very much. Eventually, as she aged, we moved in to take care of her. She had lived in this home all her life, after all. There were tons of trinkets like ornate vases, music boxes, and other antiques which we kept around even after she passed. Sometime after, I was staying upstairs on a cold and dark night, and I hear the sound of multiple music boxes slowly coming to life. The slow and soft melody never felt so unsettling in my ears. I knew my parents were out buying something at the store, and there was no one else around. I peered down the stairs into the darkness, and I couldn't make out anything. Nothing but pitch black. Looking down the stairs that night filled me with a sense of dread. I ran back to my rooms and willed myself to sleep. Looking at your cute horns is helps me out of it. Okay, next one. The next one's in English though. In my country, we have a tradition of burning offerings to our ghost ancestors every month. My friend took photo of one of these offerings to complain in our group chat because it would produce a lot of smoke. That very same day, their phone suddenly broke and would not turn on no matter what they did. When I looked at the photo sent to the group chat again, I realized the smoke was shaped like a person's head and face. I don't believe in these things, but it makes for an interesting story to tell. My goodness! My goodness! My goodness! Poor phone! Spooky janai. No, okay, the next one is in Japanese, so I'll do the Japanese and then translate to English. Spooky じゃないけど思いつかなかったので不思議な体験を一つだけ。きつければそれで大丈夫です。頑張ります。Okay. Let's see. ある冬の夜、スキーをした帰り道、東京に向かう長距離。あ、待って、これあれあるんだ。It has what's it called? 振り仮名。東京に向かう長距離バスの中で長い高速に寝疲れていた私は窓越しに郊外の夜景をぼーっと眺めていました。ゆっくり流れていく窓の外の光を見つめていると、ふと遠くの高い空に他の光とは逆向きに進む一つの気になりました。最初は飛行機の光かなと思いずっと見つめていたのですが、明らかに Z のような不思議な軌道をしていたので、ドキドキしながら隣の席の友達に、あの光変じゃない？どこ？ほらあれ、変な光なんて見えないけど、 その後いくら指さしても友達を見つけることはできませんでした。そのうちビルが光を遮ってしまって見えなくなったのですが、今でもあの光は何だったんだろうかと不思議に思っています。 Okay, translation is: On a winter night, on the way back from a ski trip, on the way to Tokyo in like the long distance buses, they were really tired and they were like kind of dozing off a little bit, just watching outside the window of the bus. And while they were spaced out looking outside, they were looking at the light that would slowly pass by. And then they suddenly noticed in the height of the sky there was another light that was going the opposite direction of everything else. So they wondered what it was. At first they thought it was a plane. So they kept looking at the light. But it was quite a strange movement, forming the shape of a Z. So while their heart picked up pace, they asked the friend who was sitting next to them, "Hey, isn't that light strange?" The friend replies, "Wait, where?" And then, "Look, over there." And then the friend replies again, "I don't see any weird light though." Even after that, no matter how much they tried to point at where the light was, the friend was not able to see it. After a while, the buildings hid the light, and then they could not see the light any longer. Even till now, they still don't know what that light is. 宇宙人？宇宙人だったかもしれない。Ah yes, I apologize for writing my unsettling experience in the comment section, but it would exceed 1,000 character limit. 1,000 characters? That's like a whole story. どうしよう。いきます。Okay, this one is also a Google translated from Japanese to English. Let's see. Ghost story. During my summer vacation, my family of 4 went on a car trip from Nagano Prefecture to Yamanashi Prefecture to catch some stag beetles. Since we were going to catch stag beetles at night, we were driving until around 4 p.m. Suddenly, even though it was summer, it became quite dark, and we arrived at a strange amusement park with pampas grass growing everywhere. That amusement park only had 3 attractions: a Ferris wheel, a carousel, and some other strange playground equipment. There was a character indicating height restrictions next to the fence. My whole family got out of the car, and my father and mother walked to the left, while my brother and I walked to the right. Of course, we were all silent. As we walked along the fence, there was a flower garden laid out on the road ahead, as if it was separate from the grassy area. I felt it was so creepy, and it felt like the afterlife. I just stood there in a daze, and after a little while, when I tried to go back the way we came, the song Yuyake Koyake started playing from a speaker, like a radio channel that wasn't quite tuned in, and I got scared and went back to the car. From then until we got home, I have absolutely no memory. Later, as an adult, when I suddenly became curious, I searched for that amusement park, but I couldn't find any such amusement park in Yamanashi Prefecture. Then, about 8 years ago, I saw a video of a Japanese abandoned amusement park on YouTube, and when I watched it, there was an amusement park that looked very similar. When I researched it, it turned out to be an amusement park in Miyagi Prefecture. When I checked that amusement park on the Wikipedia, it wasn't an abandoned amusement park when I was in the 3rd grade of elementary school. This is my creepy experience. Kawaii! Kawaii! Alright. So spooky, so spooky. ハロウィーン。アクセス Thank you for the super スパチャありがとう。ゆっくり聞いていけないので後でゆっくりアーカイブで見るね。寝る前の甘いお菓子代にどうぞ。ありがとう。お菓子トリックアートリート。お菓子くれないといたずらしちゃうぞ。へへ。Okay, the next couple are birth in Japanese. いきますよ。いきます。仕事で夜遅くなった時、駅の自動販売機の横にスマホを見たりもせず立っているだけの人がいて、誰かを待っているのかと思っていたけど次の日その人が立っていた場所には赤い液体がかなりの量流れていた。気になってニュース記事を調べたりしたけど何にもなかった。立ってた人はどうなったんだろう。赤い液体。 Okay, let me translate it. So after work, it was quite late at night, and at the station where they have like the vending machine, there was someone that was just standing there. There was someone standing there, not even looking at their phone. So they wondered, oh, I wonder if they're like waiting for someone. The next day, in the spot where the person was standing, there was some sort of like red liquid that was like a lot of red liquid that just there where the person had been standing. So they wondered about it and searched it up on the news, but there was nothing on the news. So they wonder what happened to that person that was standing there. I don't really not that much creepypasta. No, I'm only doing this because it's Halloween and I can't play horror games. Okay, next one's also in Japanese. Ikimasu. Tomato soup. Agreed. It's probably tomato. He's next to the vending machine. It could be juice. It could be. Tomato juice. 売ってたのかな、そう。初めてのマシュマロを送るので不適切。おー。いきます。はい。母から教えてもらった話なのですが、私が子供の頃いつもお人形遊びなどをしている時に、そこに誰もいないのに誰かと会話しているかのように一人で遊んでいたそうです。それを見て母が不思議に思っていたら、いつの日から夜になると子供部屋のおままごと用のキッチンからカタカタ音が聞こえるようになったり、玄関に置いてある三輪車からキコキコする、まるで誰かが漕いでいるかのような音が聞こえるようになったりとしたそうです。ですが、ある日の夜に私が玄関に向かってバイバイって言いながら手を振っていました。それから夜におもちゃなどからカタカタ音が聞こえなくなり安心したと言っていました。その後、私も小学生になり三輪車はいらなくなったため、近所の子にお下がりで渡したそうです。後日、母がその三輪車を渡した人と話していた時に、夜になると三輪車からキコキコ音がするという話を聞きました。私が子供の頃仲良く一緒に遊んでいた子は どうやらバイバイしたと思っていましたが、三輪車と共に近所の子のお家に遊びに行ったみたいです。微笑ましいようにかなりびっくりというか怖いなと最近母から聞いて思ったので送ってみました。はい、韓国ライブ頑張ります。Alright, so this one it says that it's a story that their mother had told them in the past about when they were younger. When they were young and they were playing with dolls and stuff, they would always be having like a conversation with someone that with something that is not there in the room with them. And so the mother would look at it and be like, wow, that's kind of strange. So from one of these strange, they don't know the specific time, but at one of these nights, suddenly there was a sound. Suddenly there was this, they could hear a sound where from the toy room, where the toy kitchen was making noises. And at the genkan is like the entrance. In the Japanese house, they have like a little entrance for you to take off and put on your shoes. Okay, at the entrance area, they had like a three-wheel bike. And it sounded as if there was someone pedaling on it. Ooh. Yeah, what's it called? They sounded like there was someone pedaling on it. And then, out of nowhere, one of these days, the child version, like the child one, when they were child still, towards the entrance, the door, the main entrance door, they said bye bye, and then said what's it called? Waved bye bye. It's like bye bye, waved at something. And then from that night, there was no more sounds from the toys or anything else. After that, when they became elementary school students, they didn't need the three-wheeled bike anymore, so they gave it to one of the kids in the neighborhood. After that, the mother had given the three-wheel bike to the neighbors, one of the neighbor people. They had a chat about it, and they said in the evening the three-wheeled bike would make a sound as if someone was actually pedaling it. Ooh. So when they were so it seems like when they were a child, the thing that they used to play with often, even though they thought they said bye, they just left with the three-wheeled bike to another child's house instead. I guess so. Imaginary friend become real. Kawaii-ja. The bike and the ghost just wanted to play with the bike. True. Kawaii ne. Okay, tsugi. In high school, I had a group project with two girls. Friend A decided to watch a haunted house walkthrough on YouTube. I don't like horror and still have never done a real... What's a HH? I don't know what HH is. Not a U story, nah. But watching through a screen was okay. Haunted house! Oh! Never been in a haunted house? Oh, I see. Me neither. But watching through a screen was okay. The line was long, so you could see what's coming by watching the people ahead. The camera left one room into a hallway to enter the next room on the right. As I'm watching people in front, the camera suddenly pans left at the corner. I scream. Ah! Standing there, a teenage girl, alone, dressed normally, scared, timid, facing the camera and the line of people. too spooked by the haunted house, but no emergency exit to leave. So she was stuck. By the time I realized, friend A and friend B, the girl I crushed on through middle school and high school, were already on the floor laughing at me. It was scary, okay? It was so unusual and unexpected. I asked friend B to prom that year, but later she moved on to some other guy long distance. No happy ending. That is your story. Yay. No happy ending. It's okay. Haunted house. A haunted house walkthrough. I'm scared of haunted houses as well. If I have been into one haunted house, but the whole time when I went into it, I just had my eyes closed and like grabbing my friend's like hand instead, just like 怖い怖いってなんか見ないで通ったことはある。Yeah. Thank you for the story. It would be scary if suddenly pans and like see someone staring at it. I mean, it's probably an active if it's a haunted house, but hopefully it is. Smart move. I do have like spooky happenings to myself before, like multiple times, but like I'll say it at the end. I'll say it at the end of the thing. Okay. No worries. Okay, next one. My school has a series of hauntings. People getting possessed and teachers who could see ghosts kept saying to be careful in the library and empty classrooms. Before classes start, every student had to line up in the assembly square and the square was all the school buildings. I was a prefect on duty and I felt a gaze coming from high up above, which is weird considering no students, even other prefects, are allowed to go up to the classroom before the bell rings. Thank you. So I looked up thinking a student snuck in and all I saw was this huge black mist with red glowing eyes. I just kind of stood there trying to make sense of what I was seeing, but decided to call over another prefect to check if I was seeing things. But when I turned back, the thing was gone. Never really knew if I saw one that day. But the school hauntings continue for another week before they called in a religious professional. Dark matter with red eyes. It could have been, maybe it was a ghost. Maybe it was a shadow. Yo, this one is so long. 未だに謎な私が体験した実話です。OK! 行きます。その日は現場作業が夜10時までかかり遅くまで会社に残っていました。I will translate it afterwards. ようやく最後の人も帰り、念のため見回りに現場から倉庫裏口から伸びる街灯のない裏道、たまに放火されてることがあるため、滝の矢を一つ一つ待って、ちょっと漢字が一つ一つ戸締まりしながら誰も残っていないことを確認して回り、最後に事務所の鍵を閉め、夜も遅い誰もいない空間におじけづくのを無断に独り言を言ったりして紛らわせたりして、更衣室で着替えていました。前から亡霊がいるだの、霊感のある社員が言っていたりしたせいかも せいもあって余計に過敏になっていたのかもしれません。更衣室から階段へと向かっていくとき、その廊下の突き当たりには全身が映るほど大きな姿があったのですが、その鏡を前にすると強烈に背後から感じる視線。気のせいだと思いたくてもすぐ背後に誰かいるような気配もあって怖くて鏡も見れないし。ちょっと待って。背後を振り返るなんてとってもできませんでした。ただ闇雲に緑の非常灯だけが灯る階段を降り、玄関へとたどり着き、靴に履き替え外に出てようやく振り返ることができました。もちろん誰かがいるわけもなく、玄関のガラス扉の向こうに薄暗い中に下駄箱が見えるだけでした。勝手に怖がってる自分が情けなくも笑ってしまいました。玄関の鍵穴に鍵を差し込んだところ、いきなり玄関脇の倉庫から内線電話が鳴り響きました。倉庫作業していても聞こえるようにスピーカーにつながっているため、静かな夜にはうるさいぐらいでした。誰も建物内に残っていないのは確認済み。外線から直通ではつながらない内線専用の電話。それなのに内線が鳴り響いてる。あまりにも怖くて急いで鍵を閉め、内線が鳴っていることなど無視をして足早に帰りました。もしかしたら誰かが忘れ物を取りに戻ってきて、そうとは知らず鍵をかけてしまったのかもしれない。そんな可能性すら頭をすりましたが、とってもじゃないですが内線電話を取る気にはなれませんでした。翌日みんなに聞いて回りましたが、誰一人残ってはいなかったし、忘れ物を取りに戻ってきていませんでした。一体誰が内線電話を鳴らしたのでしょうか。そして内線に出ていたら一体何が聞こえたのでしょうか。怖い、スプーキー。 OK, let me translate it. I can't get back to sleep. It's alright. Okay, so translation is it's apparently a true story that happened in the past. I don't know how it happened. They were working on site until past 10 p.m. at the company his company, and he was staying late. When he was the last person there, he was the final person there, and he had to like check everything in the warehouse to make sure there wasn't anybody left and nothing else was there. And they were checking everywhere, including the unlit back alley extending to the back entrance, because occasionally apparently there was arson incidents. Quiet as night. Yeah. And then, so they finally locked the office door, and in the late night and empty space, they were trying to like distract themselves because they were kind of scared. So they were talking to themselves about random stuff. And then when they went into the changing room to change clothes, they felt a little bit scared, a little bit more sensitive to being like, what's it called, to like the scary stuff, probably because one of the employees that has psychic abilities or are said to be able to see ghosts were saying that there was ghosts there. They felt even more scared than usual. And as they was heading from like the change rooms to like down to the stairs, there were like large full-length mirror at the end of the corridor. And when they stood in front of the mirror, they felt like an intense gaze from behind them. And then they were like, they wanted to think that it was just their imagination because it felt like someone was right there behind them. So they were too scared to look in the mirror and they couldn't turn around. So they just went blind down the stairs where there was only like the green emergency light lighting the place up. And then when they reached the entrance and changed their shoes, they were finally able to look back after going outside. And of course there was nobody there. And beyond the glass door of the entrance, they could see like the shoe rack in the dim light of like the green light thingy. And they felt pathetic for being so scared and laughed at themselves. And when they went to lock the door at the entrance, they put the key into the lock. Suddenly, the internal phone in the warehouse next to the entrance rang really loudly. It was connected to a speaker so it could be heard even when working in the warehouse. And it was like quite loud on a quiet night. They had already confirmed that no one was left in the building, and it was an internal phone that couldn't be connected directly from an outside line. And yet the internal phone was ringing. They were so scared that they quickly locked the door and hurried home, ignoring the ringing internal phone. And they were like, oh, maybe there's someone had come back to like retrieve what they forgot, and they didn't even think about it, so they just locked the door because like they were too scared, right? The possibility didn't even cross their mind, and they couldn't bring themselves to answer the internal phone. So the next day they asked everybody, and they were like, did you come back to retrieve any forgotten items? Like, was anybody here? And then nobody was left behind. No one was left behind in the building, and nobody had gone back to retrieve any forgotten items. So they were like, what on earth could have made the internal phone call, and what could they have heard if they had answered the internal phone call? I think it's like one of those phones where it sits there so that it can be connected from one phone to another phone within the building. And so that phone probably doesn't like ring unless some other phone in the building connects it to that phone. Which is kind of terrifying, so... Kawaii! That's scary. It is scary. Kawaii. But yes, that is the translation for it. Whew. Okay, the next sign is in English. Ikimasu. Hello, Mariring. This is a story from my childhood. I used to live in my grandma's house. There was a large corridor going to a room that's filled with paintings, and it was dimly lit most of the time, even at night. As a kid, I could never shake it off. I could never shake off the eerie feeling I felt every time I passed a painting of a woman. I think it was a great-great-grandmother, because I always felt its eyes moving as it watched me closely every time I walked past. Going to the room at the end of the corridor. Of course, I never told this to anyone. One day I heard my big family invite someone to the house, and I wasn't allowed to watch. But I took a peek anyway. Turned out it was like an exorcism kind of event, as they forced the spirit to possess a person. Huh? When they asked where the spirit resided, it pointed to the woman's painting as it started laughing out loud. I couldn't sleep that night, and the next day the painting was burnt to ashes. Huh? What the heck? Nande? Forces the spirit to possess a person so they can ask where it is? That's terrifying. My my god. Kawaii ne. The woman in the paintings that no, the person that was like, what's it called? The one that was possessed by the spirit, like forced the spirit to possess a person. So then it pointed to the woman's painting. Spooky! Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down her spine. Kawaii ne, kawaii ne. Hi. Tsugi ikimasu. Beware, this is very scary. I was home all alone and I heard a sound coming from the kitchen. Being the brave person I am, I walked into the kitchen and inside there, I saw something move with lightning quick speed. And saw that it was a cockroach! And I fled my house. The end. Okay, we needed that kind of story to, like, what's it called? Balance things out a little bit. Alright guys, we're gonna have a quick bathroom break here and then we're gonna come back and continue on with... Oh, that's not bathroom break. Gonna have a quick bathroom break here and then we'll be back in just a moment. Okay. Happy birthday. Be back, be back. Hi. すぐ帰ってきますね。ビビ。ただいまりー戻りました。Alright, shall we continue? Shall we continue? ただいまりー I'm back. Happy Halloween, everybody. 一人でトイレ行ける？いや、猫いるんで大丈夫。大丈夫。大丈夫。So no more corner shadow to be scared of fire. いきますよ。My bathroom does not have, like, not my bathroom. My toilet does not have a mirror. Does not have a mirror. I'd have to go all the way to the Semenjo area to have a mirror. I just turned all the lights on in my house, and then like what's it called? Left the door open. You leave the door open. Okay, ikimasu. After high school graduation, my friends and I did a ghost tour, and despite all 4 of us being total scaredy cats, we decided to go for it. Our guide led us through dark streets, pointing out haunted spots. To your left is a restaurant where people hear children's laughter from table 8. He even used a special microphone in an abandoned church. What is your name? Susan. How did you die? Suicide. That night, I woke up to whisper, Kim. Kim. It was my friend beside me, paralyzed by fear. There's someone by the door. I looked. No one's there. She begged, please, let's sleep with the light on. I reached up, switched on the lamp, and we tried to settle back down. 10 seconds later, the light shook violently, then turned itself off. We lay there in pitch black, paralyzed by fear. After an eternity, I turned it back on. Thankfully, it stayed that way. We laughed about it in the morning, but I still wondered what we invited in that night. Oh my goodness. There's someone at the door that they could not see. I hope your friend is alright. Usually, unless it's like a unit bath house, usually there isn't mirrors. Alright, we'll continue on. Hi Mariring, happy Halloween! I just want to share this creepy experience. So me and my friends, we're all high schoolers, went to this beach house that one of our friends owned. Wow, rich friend. We planned to stay there for a few days. Everything was normal at first. During the first night, I saw something that looked like a beheaded body, but I didn't think too much about it. Maybe I thought I was just tired or imagining things, so I brushed it off. A few hours later though, I started feeling really off. My body suddenly felt heavy, my head burning. My friend said I had a high fever, but then it got worse. I ended up having a seizure. I barely remembered much after that. After a few days, when I started recovering, I began having sleep paralysis often. I'd wake up in the middle of the night unable to move, feeling like something was standing near or watching me. It had been happening ever since that trip. I don't know if it's connected, but honestly can't stop thinking about what I saw that day. Wait, so you still have like sleep paralysis to this day in the same way? Who knows? Who knows? Sleep paralysis is a very weird experience. It is. I used to have it quite often as well. Yes, tsugi ikimasu. My sleep paralysis kind of stopped after getting a cat. But I used to have it very often. Okay, so next one. It happened 6 years ago, right after I graduated from middle school. I was staying up late, around 2 a.m. I'm scrolling through my phone in the dark. The lights are off, the house is silent. Everyone else was asleep. Then I heard it, a faint giggle, a child's laugh echoing from somewhere outside my room. I froze for a second, but ignored it. Moments later, footsteps ran past my door. When I checked, there was nothing, just darkness. I went back to bed, pretending it was nothing, until I heard a hollow thud, a plastic ball hitting the floor. For your information, my house used to double as a kindergarten, so toys were everywhere. But who would play at this hour? Inside the house? I forced myself to sleep, and that night I dreamt that some white children were surrounding me, laughing softly. Among them stood a Dutch lady, very beautiful. I don't remember her face. How I only know that she is very beautiful. My country was once a Dutch colony. Maybe she once lived here. I still wonder who they are. I see. Sleep paralysis demon scared by goldfish's presence. Maybe. Okay, next one. Not really a spooky story, but as a little kid, I was once visited by my grandpa's spirit in my room at midnight. Didn't remember if the spirit ever said anything, but he looked very pale and his beard was quite distinctive. Imagine the colonel from a fast food chain with much thicker beard. Told my parents the next morning that Grandpa was there, but Dad felt it's impossible since he's bedridden and his hometown is hundreds of miles away. Sure enough, later in that evening, we got word that Grandpa has passed away. When we visited his funeral a few days later, his body was enclosed with white cloth, yet I recognized that colonel beard right away. I guess Grandpa really did visit our house that night. I have a similar story to this one, actually. Hello! I have a very similar story to this one. And I just looked at the submissions, and it seems like we're at round about the end already. So I'll just say my story as well, similar one. But when I was a young doll, like when I first turned human, about like 3 years into being human, my doll father was very sick, had heart issues, and so he was actually in the hospital for like he was in the hospital for a while, and my doll sister and I would and my doll mother would all sleep in the same bed. It was like a big like king size bed, so it was really big bed. And then I was sleeping one of the nights, and in the middle of the night at like 4 a.m. I suddenly wake up and I was like, I want Dad to come home now. I don't want him to stay in the hospital anymore, you know. And then so apparently after that my doll father actually did pass away. After that, and then what's it called? The scariest part was a week later, 1 week after he had passed away and we had done the funeral and everything. I was sleeping and I woke up in the middle of the night at like I think it was like 2 a.m. or something, and I went to see his computer room because he had like a room just for computers since he worked with computers back then. And then I looked in and the computers were all on, and I could just see him at the computers like typing something. And I don't know why, but I just went back to bed after that. And in the morning when I asked like my sister and my grandmother and everyone else, they said that they also had the same thing. Like we all woke up at different times, went to the same place and saw the same thing. So yeah, perhaps he did visit again. And the other thing was, I would often have like the dreams of my doll father like after his funeral for about like a whole month. Until we had the dreams of like my doll father. Everyone in the family had like continuous dreams every once in a while where they would be like just hanging out with the doll father, until my doll mother got another partner. Until my mother started dating someone else. And then the dreams just stopped like very quickly. So I don't know if it's connected, but yeah. Similar experience, I guess. No, it's a completely fine. But I guess that's like the one thing where I feel like it is a ghost story. It was watching over all of it. Exactly. Okay, I believe this might be the last one. Let me just refresh. Oh, never mind. A couple more came in. Okay. いきますよ。No, this is a different one. I read another one afterwards. I never experienced it myself. It happened at my middle school, as told by one of my teachers, Mr. C. Mr. C was working on a project long after school ended that day. When he finished, the building's front gate was already locked. The only way to get out was to use a passageway on the other floor connected to another building. There wasn't a problem until he had to go down the stairs of the other building. It was getting darker. Luckily, there were lights above the stairs. He walked down. Everything was normal. When suddenly the lights went out. Mr. C, having sixth sense, knew that it wasn't a power outage. He quickly walked down the stairs, hoping to get out as soon as possible. The stairs, however, kept adding and disappearing at random paces, tripping Mr. C many times. No matter how hard he tried, he could not get out of the building. After what seemed like forever, he finally got out, after wishing hard to whatever caused that to laugh. Bikkurishita! I got scared by my own voice. After what seems like forever, he finally got out, wishing hard to whatever caused that to let him go. True or not, that stairs actually dark and scary even with the lights on.超びっくり。とっても可愛いデザインしてる。大好き。ありがとうございます。ラプニーさん、人形だスーパー。自分で始めたボイスでしょ。うわー Self jump scared. It wasn't my voice. It was the what's it called? It was the alert. It is my voice, but it wasn't my voice. It was my voice, but it wasn't me saying it. More alert sounds. It is my voice, but not me saying it. It's the alerts. マジでびっくりした。Yeah, that is spooky. Recollecting her thoughts. So next one is like kind of more funny. It's in Japanese. It says マリリンのマリリンって投稿をブラウザに翻訳されると結婚しましたになるのが怖い。なんで怖いな? Anyways, it says that what's it called? Whenever I write Mariring, on my Twitter posts, it like and they translate it into Japanese, it becomes like I got married, and they're like that's scary. It's Mariring, not marry. くさ、おもろいね。ありがとう。Next one! My bedroom door used to open by itself frequently. I've checked the door and then the door isn't broken. And I could also hear strange noises from upstairs, but nobody lived upstairs. Thankfully, it doesn't happen now. Okay, I wonder why it was happening. Do you have like siblings? Perhaps they were playing a bit of a what's the word for it? Playing a little prank on you. Okay, two more in the thing, and then I'll refresh and see if there's any more after that. いきますよ. I work in a hospital lab, and during one night shift, I was assigned a phlebotomist. I don't know how to read this word. Phlebotomist. Oh, I got it right. Phlebotomist in the reception. I don't know what a phlebotomist is though. I'll search it up. Phlebotomist is who collects blood samples. I have a phobia of needles. Oh my god, wait, can I say something? This is not really like scary or anything, but like fairly recently, not fairly recently, it was like a little while ago now. But like we had like a ping being like, get your vaccines before the winter fully hits and everything. So that like what's it called? And everything like that. And saying that once you get it, just give us the receipt and blah blah blah, you'll get reimbursed. And I was like, oh okay. But I saw that and then I went back to doing whatever I was like doing, right? And then after a while I see another ping from my manager. My manager is like such a troll sometimes. Cause you know how she's like, you know how she said that messages? The way she like sent the message to me, she was like, by the way, in case you like needles. In case you like needles, they were like, have a look at this to get like the what's it called, the vaccination. And I was like, no, I have what's it called, a phobia of needles, man. I have a phobia of needles. Not 4-year-old, phobia. I have a phobia of needles. So yeah, that's what they wrote. They were like, in case you like needles. And I'm like, no, absolutely not. Honestly, I'm feeling a bit whimsical. Yeah. Okay, back to the story. So they were assigned as a phlebotomist in the reception. Part of the work means we take calls for lab tests from different wards, then going to patient rooms to get blood samples. Just my luck that our elevator was out of service for 3 days now, and that shift was swamped with so much work. I had to go up and down the stairs so many times. While going up for the 9th time, the 11th elevator beside the stairs suddenly opened. I stared at it for a very long while. Nothing there. I slowly backed and continued up the stairs to the patient's room. As I walked through the hallway on the way back, the elevator opened again. I stopped and stared. Again, nothing. I was cold sweating at this point, but slowly moved for the stairs and rushed back down. When I go back to the lab, I told the senior staff what happened. They said that the elevator has a child ghost haunting it. One staff jokingly said, since there was so much work, the child was just helping me. Maybe. It's either the child trying to help, or it could be like child could be helping, or it could be trying to, yes, child is trying to spirit that guy away. That's what I was trying to think. Yeah, either they're trying to spirit the person away, or it's trying to help with the work. Being like, you don't need to take the stairs, just take the elevator. I fixed it for you. Spooky. Next. Hello, Mariring. I want to share something that still haunts me to this day. It happened when I worked at a wood factory deep in Borneo? I don't know how to say it. To get there, I had to cross a river every day by using the company boat. One night, I stayed late to finish work before my leave. The company boat had stopped running because it's really late. But an old man appeared and offered me a ride on his kating. What's a kating? It's a traditional Indonesian and Malaysian wooden boat, apparently. Yeah, sorry, I don't know how to read that. Pronounce it at least. Borneo? I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it really wrong. But yeah. How are you meant to pronounce this one again as well? Borneo? Ooh! What about that one? We go with boat then. Katinting? Katinting? Katinting. Katinting. Okay. An old man appeared and offered me a ride on his Katinting. It's a small boat with a buzzing engine echoing in the dark. The river was silent. He only asked, "Why are you heading home so late?" I told him I had work to finish. He didn't reply. Only the sound of the water and the engine filled the night. When we reached the dock, I searched my wallet for money, but when I turned around, the old man was gone. The boat was empty. I immediately ran to the guard, and he said no one had passed by. At that moment, my whole body went cold. I couldn't speak. That night, I realized I might have crossed the river with a ghost. Since then, I never worked late again. Kawaii! Spooky, spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down my spine. Super scary, Crossing the river with a ghost. Yeah, and that was the last one we have. God, so many spooky, scary stories. Okay, you wanna, like, I think I said these stories in the previous year as well, but I also have like a bunch of spooky stories of personal experiences. Ne? Being the one of the more recent ones. It's not that recent either, but it's like a little bit more on the recent side. It was when I was still in high school. I was home alone because my doll mother and doll sister were on a holiday. They left me in Australia to go on a holiday in China, and so I was in like year 7, so middle school essentially. And home alone, I was chilling, doing homework, and watching anime essentially. And all of a sudden, I hear like really, really loud noise thumping up the stairs. It was just thumping like a dum 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 going up the stairs. And I look back, and I just see this like dark shadow-like thingy like run across my door that was open at the time. And they just zoom past the door, and I hear a loud slam. And I look, and the door to the bathroom had been like slammed shut. And so I was so scared to go in. I was so scared that I just closed my bedroom door, and I played music, and I put the blanket over my head, and I went to sleep. In the morning, I woke up, and then I didn't check the place until the person who comes around once a day to like check on me, since I was obviously a child. The person that had come by to like check on me was there. The door was still closed, by the way. And then like I made him open the door for me, and we looked in, and there was no one in there. There was no one in there. But like home alone, footsteps, slamming of the door, and I didn't hear any other footsteps afterwards, but there was nobody in there, and everything was like just there. There was no window open either, so it wouldn't have been like the wind. Yeah. It was very, very scary. Did it happen again sometime after? No. What did happen was I would hear footsteps every now and once in a while, but it wasn't like fast stomping upwards. It was just like slow steps, you know. Even when there's no one home, I could still hear footsteps going up and down the stairway sometimes. Yeah, another thing would be the chopsticks. I panicked. I know. I was so scared. Dollfather needed to use the bathroom, maybe. Another thing is the chopsticks. So my doll mother had a very, very specific thing that she wants us to do. When we put away the chopsticks after washing it in the little thing, she wants us to place it in a specific diagonal because she was like, we use this part to eat, the back part we don't use to eat, so you put the back part down where it's touching the container. And I was like, okay. And my doll sister and I would actually do that every single time. We'll put the thick part of it, the part that you don't actually use to eat, down against the container. And then, what's it called? So we'll do that every single time. But in the morning, we'll wake up for to go eat breakfast as well. And then we'll just be yelled at for not doing it. They were like, why did you put the chopsticks the wrong way again? And then we're like, but we did. We definitely did. And then, so my doll sister and I made sure to double check, triple check that the chopsticks was put in correctly, in the right way. For cleanliness reasons, yes, we agreed as well, right? To make sure that it was in the right way. But every single time, there's always 1 or 2 chopsticks that would be flipped over the other way anyways. What's flipping it over? What is flipping it over? Yeah. And a slightly older one when I was before I even went to school. The chopsticks are alive, I know, right? Before I even went to school, I had this one thingy where I was at my aunt's house with my doll sister, and my aunt was said to us, it's just be careful. You have to actually you have to be a good kid and take your afternoon nap. If you don't take your afternoon nap, the monster, the creature across the river will come and kidnap you, and you'll be tortured essentially. And so I had insomnia even as a child. So what's it called? I could not fall asleep. I could not fall asleep at all. My doll sister was already asleep. We were the only two in the house at the time. And for some reason, I went to look at the window that was over the river. And across in the building from me, there was one of the windows was open on the building. And I just see this lady that looks really disheveled staring at me with a really creepy smile. And they point at me and they wave, and I got scared, so I went back to bed right next to my sister. And then after, when my aunt came back, right, I told her what happened, and she was just like, you shouldn't have looked out the window. And then that's all I remember, really. So nothing really happened, but it was really creepy because it looked at me, pointed at me, and then waved with a really creepy smile the whole time. So yeah. Spooky! But yeah, that was a pretty old spooky story that I had in the past. Yeah! So scary. Why? Chopsticks alive. Cause I sort of see shadows and stuff frequently as well. But I kind of just try to just ignore it most of the time. They used to be more clear when I was freshly human. I could see the shadows more clearly, but recently it's more just actual blobs instead. Human is the most scary existence in the world. I still don't know to this day. I don't know what it was, and maybe that's the thing that has been haunting me. You know, perhaps. Kawaii, kawaii. Alright. But honestly, I feel like I would prefer like it being a ghost over being an actual person. Like, can you imagine a person secretly living in your house? And they can see everything that you do, but you can't see them. Because they know the hidden areas. I feel like that's even scarier. That's scarier. Don't you guys think as well? Okay, but we have gone through all of the stories today. Yeah. I think there was some really spooky ones, like squatters. No, like someone who like has built like a secret thingy inside your house and lives in your house without you realizing. So they use your items, they use everything of yours, and then they hide. I don't play scary horror games, no. As my parents used to say, be more afraid of the living than the dead. I know. That's what I think too. Be more afraid of the living than the dead. Like Parasite? Kinda, yeah. Like the movie, right? Spooky. But can you imagine this person is just living in your closet or like underneath your bed, and then when you're asleep they come out and do other stuff, and when you're outside of the house they walk around the house and do things. Scary. So scary. Okay, but today we actually have 2 streams. So we're gonna have another stream after this current stream today as well. And it's gonna be Minecraft Escape from VSF. I will have my POV as well. And I think I'm gonna do like I will do like a little Zatsudan post stream. So after my part of the stream, I'll do a quick Zatsudan. And then end off. But yeah, it starts at 8 PM JST, which is in about 2 hours. So I think I'm gonna go get some food in the meantime, and work on some offline work, and come back for the stream then. Also, I had I saw the tweet asking about the original song Roulette, and how if I have 2 streams in the day, will I spin it twice? And the answer is yes. I will spin it twice, unless it's a collab stream, and unless I'm like not doing like an after chatting. And the only times I will not do a original song spin is if I am doing a sponsored stream or a karaoke stream, because I'm already singing. And if it's at like the studio or something, that's the only time that I will not. The only time I will not do this. The only time I will not do a original song roulette is if it's in a 3D stream, which I'm not at home, or if I'm just like streaming from the studio, or if it is like a sponsored stream. But most of the time I will do a spin. Okay. And with that said, let's do a spin today as well. Minako-san, thank you so much for the spa. Not sure if I should give this cute doll some candy or my song. Thank you for the fun stream today. Thank you. Depends on the situation, yes. But most of the time, I will do a spin. Spin the wheel. Are you guys excited for the Minecraft collab afterwards? Look forward to it. Yippee. Yoshi, ikimasu. Spin the wheel. What is it gonna be today? Oh! It's a doll's dream! A doll's dream. There it is. Lee. This one's a short one. Looks a bit creepy with this background though. Everybody, hope you guys will enjoy the Minecraft stream afterwards. Get some food in between or take a nap if you need to. We'll see you guys in maybe like 2 hours? 2時間ぐらいでまたお会いしましょうね。おつまりりん and キラキラ Daydream。I'm gonna just send you guys over to the Minecraft stream so that you guys can put on the bell button as well. See you later! また後でね!